All right, so today we're tackling this classic question, love versus career, figuring out what really matters. And get this, we're going to explore it through a totally different lens. We're
Oh,
going deep into an English language learner's guide.
really? That's interesting. It reminds me that we can find wisdom in unexpected places.
Yeah, who knew a language guide could be so insightful about life? But I gotta admit, I'm a bit skeptical.
Yeah.
Can we really get deep relationship advice from a book about verbs and vocab?
I think that's what makes this so fun, right? We're about to find out. And I have a feeling we'll be surprised. Learning a new language, it's not just memorizing words, it's about immersing yourself in a new way of thinking, a new culture even.
Okay, I see what you mean.
hmm
So this guide might offer a unique perspective on how different cultures view this whole love versus career thing.
Exactly. And this guide, it jumps right in asking love or career success if you had to choose.
Whoa, it's like they're throwing down a philosophical challenge right from the start.
Yeah, it is. But I think it's a bit of a trick question, to get us thinking. That's where things get interesting.
All right, you got me. How is it a trick question? What's the catch?
Well, the guide starts by describing love, painting it as this warm force like sunshine after rain. It even uses John Lennon as an example, how love fueled his art and activism.
Yeah, I can see that Lennon's music, it was so personal, often reflected his relationships and beliefs about peace and love.
Right, but then it shifts to career fulfillment, stressing stability growth, leaving a legacy, and uses Marie Curie as an example.
So we've got the passionate artist driven by love and the groundbreaking scientist dedicated to her work. Seems like two valid paths, two ways to find meaning. But is it really about choosing one or the other?
That's the question, isn't it? And I think this is where the guide reveals its wisdom.
Okay, I'm all ears. What's the wisdom here?
It's not about choosing one or the other. The guide, it pushes for balance. It uses this analogy of mixing love into your work life, like a secret ingredient for a delicious dish.
I like that analogy.
hmm
It's not about keeping work and personal life separate. It's about weaving them together.
Exactly. And then the guide gets surprisingly practical.
Oh.
It encourages setting boundaries, dedicating time to work, and then carving out quality time for loved ones.
Wait, hold on. This English language guide is giving time management advice. That's unexpected. But I get it. Setting boundaries can be tough.
It's a common struggle, especially now, but the guide stresses that those boundaries are key for both work and personal life.
It sounds like this guide is all about a holistic approach, where work and relationships complement each other.
Exactly. Recognizing that both love and career can bring joy and fulfillment, and finding that balance for a meaningful life.
Hmm, I'm already rethinking my own approach to this whole love versus career thing. Maybe a fulfilling career can actually boost your relationships.
It's definitely possible. When you're happy at work, that energy flows into your relationships. And when you have support from loved ones, they can inspire you professionally.
So it's a win-win.
Exactly. And one thing that really stood out was the guide's emphasis on vocabulary.
Oh yeah, I love this part. It's like they're sneaking in language lessons while making us examine our values.
Right. It highlights words like romantic, fulfillment, passion, and of course, balance. It asks learners to think about what these words mean to them.
That's brilliant. Connecting language to life. Not just memorizing, but understanding meaning and how it relates to us.
And that's what makes this deep dive interesting. It challenges us to think about what balance really means in both career and love.
I'm game. Let's dive deeper into that. What are some strategies the guide offers for finding that sweet spot, that balance?
It might surprise you, but this guide, it actually goes into pretty specific time management strategies.
Time management from a language guide.
Hmm.
Okay, I'm intrigued. I'm always up for tips on balancing work and life.
Right. So it starts with setting aside certain hours for work, creating a work zone where you're focused, but then it really stresses stepping away from that zone and spending quality time with your loved one.
Okay, so making clear boundaries in time and space,
hmm
but scheduling quality time, doesn't that feel a bit forced? Shouldn't it be more organic?
I see your point. And the guide does mention the importance of spontaneity, but it also suggests that having that dedicated time, even if it's planned, can help make sure those relationships don't get lost in the shuffle.
Yeah, I guess it's about making a conscious effort prioritizing relationships even when work's crazy.
Exactly. And think about it from the language learner's perspective. They're trying to fit practice into their busy day. So this advice about scheduling, it's really practical for them.
That's true. It's like applying that same principle to your relationship.
Exactly. And there's more. The guide also talks about personal well-being, taking breaks, hobbies, prioritizing mental and emotional health.
So it's not just work and love, it's about taking care of yourself too. Something I think we all forget sometimes. We're so busy achieving goals, we forget our own well-being.
It's easy to do that, but the guide reminds us that self-care isn't selfish. It's essential for being our best at work in relationships for our own happiness.
And I bet that's especially important for language learners. Dealing with a new culture demanding schedules. It's a good reminder that self-care is crucial.
Absolutely. Now, you mentioned earlier about the vocabulary. Want to dive into that a bit more?
Yeah, definitely. Curious how those words tie back to this whole love versus career discussion.
So let's take romantic. The guide asks you to think about what it means to you. What are your romantic ideals? How do they shape your expectations?
Interesting. Going beyond the dictionary definition and seeing how it plays out in your life.
Right. Then there's fulfillment. What does it mean to have a fulfilling career? Financial success, making a difference, or just enjoying what you do?
And I imagine those answers are different for everyone.
Absolutely. Which leads to passion. What are you passionate about? Can you align your career with that? Or if you're already in a career, how can you bring more passion into it?
Sounds like this guide is prompting some serious soul searching, both personally and professionally.
Which is a good thing, right? Examining our values, priorities, what brings us joy.
You know what? I think this language guide needs a warning label. May cause deep introspection and a sudden need to rethink your life choices.
Well, isn't that the whole point of a deep dive? To shake things up, challenge assumptions, maybe inspire some changes.
You're right. And honestly, I'm feeling pretty inspired. This whole conversation has made me realize maybe I haven't been giving enough thought to what I really want in both my career and relationships.
That's a great realization. And it shows the power of seeing things from different angles. Sometimes an unexpected source like this language guide gives us that fresh perspective.
Yeah, I started out skeptical. What can a language guide teach me about love and career? I thought. But I'm pleasantly surprised.
Me too.
Yeah.
And you know what? We're not done yet. There's one more key takeaway that I think you'll find really interesting.
Okay, I'm all ears. Lay on me. So what's that last key takeaway? You really piqued my curiosity.
Well, it's like this. The guide, it suggests that maybe instead of seeing it as love or our career, the goal could be finding work you love and D, having people who support those passions around you.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
that completely changes things. It's not either. It's finding that place where your passions fit both work and your personal life.
Exactly. And that idea, we see it in so many inspiring stories like Steve Jobs. He said the only way to do great work is to love what you do.
Right. And it reminds me of Audrey Hepburn. She achieved incredible fame, but always talked about enjoying life, finding happiness in both work and relationships.
It all comes back to balance, right? Bringing those different parts of your life together, creating something that feels real and fulfilling.
So for everyone listening, the question is, what does balance mean for you? What brings you joy in both love and work? And what steps can you take to make your life feel more harmonious?
It's about matching your passions to your purpose. And it's not about reaching some perfect equilibrium. It's about finding what works for you, what makes you feel alive and engaged in both your personal and professional life.
And sometimes it's the most unexpected places that give us the inspiration to change. Who would have thought an English language learner's guide could have so much to say about life, love, and finding happiness?
It shows that wisdom can pop up anywhere if we're open to it. So keep searching, keep learning, and keep aiming for that balance in your own life.
And on that note, we'll leave you with those thoughts. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of love career and the surprising wisdom found in an English language learner's guide.